First, I want to know why you guys actually play gacha games. For some people, it's the thrill of the gamble. For some, it's the waifu and the characters that they love. For some, it's the original IP of the game. For some, it's the story. But for me, those things are just complement to a gacha game. For me, it's the feeling of getting rewarded that gets me going. And as sad as it may be, that feeling is not as strong as what I felt in the early days of gacha gaming. Is it just me, or you guys who played gacha game for a long time experienced the same thing as me? The fact that gacha game has become less rewarding in the last couple of years. I feel like gacha game has become easier than they're supposed to be in the last 2 years or so. As a guy that has played gacha games for around 6 years, I miss the day where grinding in gacha games without buying actual stamina with premium currency is an actual thing. The day where events are hard and very challenging and can't be cleared in a span of 3 days to a week. The day where playing for long hours of time gets you rewarded and not content fraud. That is how I feel deep down when I play newer gacha game titles. Alright, so for the last couple of months, I actually played older gacha game titles again. This all started when Naruto Ultimate Ninja Blazing shuts down, and the actual sad feeling that I experienced as a former player. And then I thought to myself, why don't I feel the same kind of emotion towards newer gacha game titles? And this got me thinking hard. And then I've come to a realization about this, and this is what I want to share today with you guys in this video. So, before we start, I want to make things straight. When I say older games, means the gacha games that is released before 2017, and newer gacha games are gacha games that is released after 2017. With that out of the way, let's start, shall we? Developers have developed a different kind of business model where you can get rewarded by just simply doing easy contents in the game, and this will make players feel like they're actually accomplishing impactful stuff in the game. And this will draw more casual players into the game and make them spend more money in a faster time frame. More stereotypes of player that got hooked, more money. Casual players that can't play the game as much as tryhards will get almost the same amount of rewards as the tryhards. This is why the casual players are hooked in. And hard competitive contents has just become a method of flexing to other players. This will create a kind of pattern where the casual players will spend more money in the early stage of the game because they feel like they are making an accomplishment in the game, and the tryhards that want to flex to the casuals will have no choice but to wail and spend more money than the casuals to get stronger, because they get a similar amount of rewards from progressing and actually scoring better in the game than the casual players. And when the developer said, alright, we make enough money from this game and the player base has dropped down and people are getting bored, let's move on to another game instead of making more engaging contents and events. And when the game comes, the same thing will happen with the next game. Developer will just keep on moving from another game to another game and to another game. Granblue Fantasy is one of the gacha game that I enjoyed the most. Stories in GBF is amazing, voice acting is amazing.
ウロボロスにご飯あげなくっちゃ。ねえねえ、手伝って。
But the main reason why I enjoyed this game so much is the difficulty of the game itself, and just the difficulty and the grinding that you need to do in this game, in my opinion, kept this game alive for a long years. The feeling where you are able to do the stage that you can't do last month is unbelievable, I have to say. The effort and time that you put into this game are rewarded right in front of your eyes. Putting long hours into the game, grinding those materials, grinding stages for months and months to finally get the characters and weapons that you want. This is the kind of feeling, the kind of reward that I longed for in a gacha game. But where is it now in the newer gacha game titles? Genshin Impact is a huge title, being able to generate numbers of players that put the big gacha games like Dokkan, Fire Emblem Heroes, and Seven Deadly Sins to shame. But as much as I want to love Genshin, I just can't. Unlike the older gacha games like GBF, Blazing, Grand Summoners, and a bunch of other games that has been alive since 2015, 2013, 2014, putting hours and hours of efforts into Genshin are almost meaningless. When what you get for the efforts that you put in are materials for future characters that you might or might not get. Upgrading your characters by doing dungeons, weekly boss, doing Spiral Abyss to get Primo Gems for a new players, all of those things are pointless when what you do in the end of the day with the new and stronger characters that you get is the same thing all over again. Do you think when you get all of your artifact to a perfect roll and stats and be able to pretty much one-shot the boss is going to get you anything? Are you going to be able to finally do a harder boss and experience a new whole thing? No. You're going to do the same weekly boss as you do before with the same amount of reward that you get as before. So where's the reward that you get by putting in those efforts? All of the efforts that I did feels pointless once I realized that instead of getting rewarded, what I get is content rot. But there's also an argument that you can make with the statement that I made. Are all gacha games like that? You play the game, you put in efforts, and finally you beat the game, and there's nothing more to do. That's the reward, right? You beat the game, and you have to wait for more content. And my answer to that is no. It has to be no. Great gacha shouldn't keep you waiting for content. All the times and efforts that you put into the game must have a point and a meaning behind it. Look at older gacha games like Blazing, Granblue Fantasy, and a bunch of other older gacha games. The stronger your characters get, the more rewards that you also get. How? Getting top ranking in your raid lobby will get you more rewards. Getting top ranking in Guild Wars will get you more rewards. Doing ungodly difficult content will give you more rewards. Even farming more welfare characters will give you more rewards in the form of luck. If they don't have this kind of system like FGO, the game will be having a really difficult story mission, having a difficult grinding process in order to get your favorite characters to the level that you want. But that is not happening in the newer gacha games. In newer gacha games like Genshin, Arknights, especially in the Arknights, people are very familiar with the terms of that week where they're just waiting for a new event to drop while doing whatever the heck they want. And newborn game like Alchemy Stars, they give you nothing by having stronger characters than the other players. They give you nothing by playing the games more and putting more efforts into the game. Why? Because the game is catered around casual players. They don't want casual players to feel left out by people that actually grind the game more. People that actually put in efforts into the game. Because everyone is a potential gold mine for them. It is sad for some, but it is also good for some. It is bad for the tryhard, but it's good for the casual players. The business model that they take, in my opinion, sacrifices tryhard players. And that is the kind of players that I am, sadly. At the end of the day, this is just my thought about the state of gacha games right now. And I can only hope where a gacha that I love so much like GBF, like the old Blazing, will pop out of nowhere to revitalize that feeling that I long for. The feeling to get rewarded by grinding long hours of time. And until then, I am not going to stop playing gacha games until I find the perfect new one for me. If you want to join me in a quest to find the perfect gacha game, and if you also enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and a sub, and I have my Discord channel link available in this video description. And as usual, guys, goodbye, have a nice day, and keep playing gacha games.